Hello and welcome. In this episode, we will cover how to manage virtual machine networking and security in Azure. Specifically, we'll focus on configuring NSG, network security groups, public IP and private IP addresses as well as JIT, just-in-time access, to ensure secure network environment for your Azure virtual machine. So let's get started. So let's start with network security groups. Well, NSGs are used to control both inbound and outbound traffic to your Azure resources or from your Azure resources. You can define rules that specify which traffic is allowed or denied based on IP addresses, ports, or protocols. These rules help you to enhance security by filtering out unwanted traffic and only allowing the legitimate communication traffic to your VM or from your VM. The next one is public and private IP addresses. Now, public IPs or IP addresses are assigned to resources that need to be accessible from internet or public domain. This is useful for any internet-facing virtual machine or web application or even app services. Now, private IP addresses, on the other hand, are used for internal communication within your virtual network structure. Remember, you can have one virtual network or a collection of multiple virtual networks. If they are connected and they are not overlapping, everything will work smoothly and they will all use private IP addresses. But if within two virtual networks far apart, let's say they are in different geographical region, if there is a public domain in between, then of course there will be public IP required somewhere in the middle. Now, let's move back to private IPs. Private IP addresses ensure that the communication between your Azure resources, of course, remains secure and isolated from public domain, which is internet. The next concept is JIT, access, just-in-time access. Well, this is used to further enhance security. Well, just-in-time access allows you to temporarily open a port for your virtual machine and automatically remove the access after a predefined time window is elapsed. This actually reduces the attack vector or attack surface by ensuring that only authorized users can access a specific port and only when they need it for a limited period of time. JIT access or just-in-time access is especially useful when you want to restrict remote access to your virtual machine, but still need the ability to access them in some certain situations. Imagine the administrator wants to actually connect with a system for maintenance, or maybe administrator wants to use a jump server. From that jump server, admin can actually configure other machines inside your ecosystem. So for that, they can use JIT or this just-in-time methodology. Next concept is security best practices. Well, to maximize your security posture, you can combine, or you should actually combine NSG with JIT to control both traffic and access to your virtual machine. Plus, how about you use private IP addresses for internal communication to keep your resources isolated from public access? You can also ensure that only authorized traffic can reach your VMs, reducing the risk of potential attacks or vulnerabilities. Now let's go to our lab and check out how we can implement NSG for obtaining fine-grained control over network security and more. So I will see you in the lab. All right, welcome to your next lab. In this lab, we will discuss managing network and security of your virtual machine. So let's go right back to our Azure portal. And this is my virtual machine, as you can see. And this virtual machine right now is connected to NITA VNet 01 and NITA subnet 01. But what if you want to move this machine from one subnet to another subnet? What if you want to add more network adapter? What if you want to actually just change the network adapter you already have? You can do that. So before that, let's create a network interface. So you search for NIC, network interface, and click on create. You click on the resource group and give this network interface a name. I will call it demo NIC. Now you select the network. Well, my network is NITA VNet 01. Yes, it is created in this resource group by mistake, but don't worry. It's just a resource group right now. And which subnet? Do you want to create in the same subnet? Not really. I want to create it in a new subnet. You can do that. Now, do you want it to have IPv4 or both, IPv6 and 4? You can. Plus, you can also give your network card a static IP address. That is also possible in this range. So you can just say 172.168.1. Let's say 47. It should be in the range. Click next and create. All right. So we are creating a network card. Now we need to, change it on the machine. So you will go to the machine, and before you change your network card or swap it or do whatever you want with the network card, please turn off your machine. So again, stop your machine. My machine is already off. As you can see, stopped and deallocated. Then you go to your network settings. Over here, you will see the option of attach network interface or detach if you have multiple network card already attached. Okay, then find your network card, this is mine, and click on OK. All right, so now let's just refresh it. And as you can see, now I have two network cards. Yes, a machine can have multiple network cards attached to it. Now, what if I want to remove one? Well, can I remove one? Yes, you can. Minimum, your machine must have one network card. You cannot have 0 network cards. So I can remove the old one now. Click OK. And now the old one is being detached. So you just moved your machine from one subnet to another subnet. All right, it's done. So what is the network card now? This one. And is my IP changed? Yes, 172.16.1.47. So this is the IP of this machine now. So this is how you change your network card to move your machine from one subnet to another. Now, one more point. If you want to check your IP configuration, you can click on your network card and then go to IP config. Here, you can actually set a different static IP if you want, so you can still configure it. Plus, you can also associate a public IP to it. If you click here, you can pick a public IP. This was already picked for this machine. So you can just click on it and click Save. Or you can create a new public IP as well. So this is already associated to the old network card. Something else to learn. So one public IP cannot be connected to two network cards. Remember, we released this network card, but the public IP is still attached to it. I can show you how to remove it. IP config, click here, and uncheck this box. Now it will be removed from this network card. We can go back to the machine, click on network settings, network card, and then click on IP config and attach our public IP. And it's done. Now you can also connect with this machine via this public IP. Plus, you can also give this machine a different DNS server to point to, automatically all the machine go to Azure provided DNS and DHCP server, but you can change it. Here you can actually change your NSG, or you can just say none if you want. And this is where you will get your virtual MAC address off your network card. So that was the networking side of it. Now, how about security? Well, you said this machine can be connected with the help of this public IP. It will show up the public IP eventually. But yeah, there is a public IP. But using this public IP to connect with the machine directly is exposing your machine to the outside world, which is still not good. Let me turn it on because the machine was off. So that is why you are not seeing the public IP here. So anyhow, when you connect your machine directly to the public domain, you're exposing your machine. Is there any secure way to connect with your machine? Yes. The method is Bastion. So Bastion is also a great technology which allow you to connect with your internal Azure resources securely without exposing your internal resources to outside world. So for that, you need to create Bastion. And Bastion needs its own subnet in your network. So we are using this network, so I will stick to it. I'll go to subnet. Now, if you click on subnet here, oh, not this one. I will stick to this one, 172. Subnet. Don't worry about this one. Let's create one more. And you select your purpose here. That is Azure Bastion. Azure Bastion needs minimum 50 IPs. So it gives 64. That is still close to the range. So yes, you will waste some IPs, but that is okay. You cannot have 50 exact IPs. So let's add the subnet. After adding the subnet, you will add Bastion. You search for Bastion service and click on create. Select your resource group and name it NITA Bastion. Select your region, availability, I don't require it. Tier, standard is fine. Even basic is good. You don't want multiple instance count. Even 2 is more than enough. But Bastion can actually go till 50. And don't worry about this error. They're just telling you that if you want 50, then you must give them at least 50 IP addresses, which we already did. So 2 is good enough. Now the virtual network where you will put the Bastion. And as you can see, Bastion automatically fetched the subnet you created. Now, Bastion also have a front end, public IP, from which all the requests will come in. So now, machine do not need any public IP. You will just connect with the Bastion's public IP and then you will connect with your machine. So, can we use existing? Not really, because I don't have any free public IP here. Can I create a new one? Of course you can. But remember the whole point of this demo is to remove the public IP from this machine. I don't want to expose it directly. So can I remove the public IP from this machine and use it for Bastion? Yes, you can. So I'll go here, then go to my IP config and say, oh, it's still not connected. That's good. I think I forgot to save it. So that means we have a public IP which can be used. So I just have to wait for this process to finish and then I will move next step. All right, now the machine have the public IP. So let's remove it and use it for our Bastion. I'll go here and I will just click on IP config and I'll say, nah, just remove this public IP. All right, so the IP is now released. Let's go back to Bastion. You might not see it immediately here because you may have to refresh this session. So let's go ahead and create the bastion again. Let's check out if we can find it. Okay, all this is good. And public IP. No, use existing. Still not. So you may have to give it some time. All right, let's try again. I'll go here, select that, call it NITA Bastion. Okay, tier is standard fine, 2 is fine. Use my virtual network and to existing. Yeah, it's still taking time. So if we can just create a new one, that's fine. NITA VNet IP, no, I'll just call it NITA Bastion public IP. You need at least one public IP for sure. And click on advanced. No need to change anything here, but this is just how the Bastion session should behave. Do you want the clipboard functionality to work? Means you can copy paste from that session to your machine. You can do that. Tags, review, and create. So the point is not to show you the security aspect of the Bastion. The point is to show you the network connection options for the machine. So I'm creating a Bastion to connect with the machine safely. Now, as you remember, the machines still don't have any public access. It must be connected via Bastion. All right, so the deployment is done. Now, how to use Bastion? If you go to your virtual machine, you have to log into your portal, by the way. You go to your machine. As you can see that there is no public IP, you cannot connect with it. But what if you go here and click on connect and then go to connect via Bastion? It will check if a Bastion is provisioned or not. It will say, yes, it is successful. Then you just tell Bastion via which protocol you want to connect, RDP or SSH. This is a Windows machine, so I will use RDP with this 3389 port number. And then you will provide your credentials to Bastion. So NITAADMIN, admin, password, and then you connect. Now, your browser may block the pop-up, so you may have to, allow it. So I will allow the pop-up from Azure. It's safe. Let's try to connect again. Perfect. And we'll also ask you for allowing the clipboard functionality, which you want to copy paste the content. And here we go. So it will open the instance, but right on the browser. So this is kind of a reverse RDP connection to your machine. And you are watching the stream on your browser. So Bastion is in between. You are not connecting with this machine directly. And here we go. We have our machine. So that is how you can connect with your environment with Bastion, making sure that your internal networks are protected. So that's it for this demo or this lab. I will see you in the next one. Take care. All right, welcome back to your next lab. In this lab, we will define security. We'll configure security with the help of NSG on a virtual machine. Now, as you know, I have a virtual machine over here. And if you click on it, then you go to network settings. There are no NSG, no port, nothing. So maybe you have to create NSG for it. Well, you can create NSG right here directly, or you can create NSG and then assign it. It's the same thing. So let's go ahead and add one network security group to this machine. Now, once you add NSG, yes, it will not work right away. It will block every connection. You have to configure it as well. So I'll give it some time, let it create the NSG first, and then we'll go ahead and create our port rules. All right, NSG is there, and we can see it here. Now let's create the port rules. Well, NSG works in both directions, inbound and outbound. Inbound means the request coming in to your machine from outside world, like internet. Outbound means when your machine wants to go out. The request is coming from your machine. Your machine is the source. So in this demo, we will try to connect with our machine. So we have to configure the inbound port rule. Once you understand how to configure it, it's the same thing for outbound as well. So let's click here and create inbound port rule. Now, source means from where the request is coming in. You have a choice of any. Any means it will listen for all the requests. If you have a specific IP address, you can also select that. I can also select my IP address, means my public IP address of this computer I'm using. And service tag is also possible. Application security group is also possible. Let's say any. Now, the request might be coming from a specific port. You can add it. If you put a star, star means a wild card. This means all the ports will be allowed, all the ports will be listened to. Destination is where it is trying to go. We only have one machine, so you can actually put the IP address and target one machine. If you say any, then the request can go to any machine inside a subnet. Let's say if the NSG is assigned to a subnet, then it can go to any machine. Now, service. Which service are you allowing to actually interact or go through? In my case, I will select RDP. Do you want to allow it or deny it? I want to allow it. And then the priority. Well, small number have the highest priority here. So if I say 1,000 or 100 have more priority than 1,000. Good. And then you can describe it and you can give this rule a name. Once you're good with the rule, please click OK, and here it is. So I have the rule now. Let's see if this actually allow me to get in. All right, there was no public IP, so I added one. Let's copy it and try to connect. And as you can see, I can connect. I can put my username and I can connect. If you see this, credential page or window, that means you are now talking with the machine. Let's go back and remove the rule quickly. So I deleted it. Now let's see what happens. I'm still connecting because when you remove a rule or you add a rule, give it maybe like 30 seconds or 1 minute to apply properly. Okay, let's try again. And here we go, we cannot connect it. So this is how you configure NSG to make sure that a specific service via a specific port is allowed to go to a specific machine. Now, what if you want to make sure only a specific source can connect to your machine? You can also do that. So for that, first I'm going to use my VPN to change my IP. So let me just go to my VPN. All right, so I'm connected to Brazilian server, and this is my IP right now. So I'll just remember it, okay? Let's go back to your NSG. Create a new rule. But this time, I will not select my source to be anyone. No, IP address. Here, you can put one IP address, two IP address, or you can even put the range of the network. I only have one. So 138.199, 138.199.58.34.58.34 will be my IP. Now, which thing? I will go with RDP and allow. So I'm adding a new rule, but only for specific IP address, and the rule is done. Now my whole machine is actually using this public IP to go out, as if my machine is inside Brazilian territory. So let's try if I can connect. And here we go, I can connect actually. So it's working. Let me disconnect my machine from Brazilian server. So I disconnected. Let's try again. Now I cannot connect. This is how you can even make your network or your environment more secure. So that's it for this demo, and I will see you in the next one. Welcome back. Now, I hope the lab was clear, and now you know how easy it is to actually create NSG and also configure and deploy NSG at the right place. Remember, NSGs can be applied on network card or subnet as well. If you apply it on subnet, it will get inherited to all the machines under it. Now we can summarize this episode. Well, let's start with NSG, which provide fine-grained control over traffic to your VM. Not just to your VM, from your VM as well. It's on both sides. Ingress and egress, both are covered. Then we studied public IPs. You can use public IPs for internet-facing resources and private IPs for internal communication. Then you can also enable JIT access, just-in-time access, to reduce your attack surface and ensure access is granted only when it is absolutely necessary. Then we also studied some of the best practices, including combining NSG with just-in-time access and using private IP addresses for internal connectivity. Well, by following these guidelines, you can ensure your Azure VMs are both secure and efficiently managed. That's it for this episode. I will see you in the next one. Take care.